Today is April 30. On the 30th of April 1905, Albert Einstein completed his doctoral thesis titled A New Determination of Molecular Dimensions, based on 5 brilliant papers he published that same year. That year is also known as his Annus Mirabilis. The University of which city conferred Albert Einstein his doctorate? Use the link below to submit your answer and win an amazing prize. Hello everyone and welcome back to a new season of Smarter by the Second. After a long break, it's finally time for Season 5. And how can we start the season any better than with a returning candidate, Jorrit. Welcome, Jorrit.
Hi.
So, in Season 2, you participated in science. And then you almost made it the entire way, but you failed in the last round.
Yeah, I messed up.
You still have nightmares about that.
I don't want to talk about it, Daan.
You know that. It's too traumatizing. But now you are back and again participating in science. Mm-hmm. So do you think you can get your revenge here?
At least as I get the clock, then I think the objective is achieved.
So you're here for the clock, not for winning the entire episode?
I mean, let's get the revenge.
Right, so you had now 3 years of extra practice time. Did you spend that time wisely?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right, I think
I'm gonna nail this.
We can find out. So let's jump into the first round. Mm-hmm. In folklore, a mermaid is an aquatic creature with the head and upper body of a female human and the tail of a fish. Mermaids appear in the folklore of many cultures worldwide, including Europe, Asia and Africa. It is that the real mermaids were manatees. When centuries ago, sailors saw the manatees after being at sea for far too long, and their imagination turned them into beautiful, mythical women. So in a way, manatees are actually mythical creatures. Here are then 9 creatures that look mythical. You will catch a picture of them. I won't say anything, you don't get a description, and you have to tell me what animal do you see. And the animals you can choose from are the Glaucus atlanticus, the okapi, a vampire deer, saiga antelope, streaked tenrec, a narwhal, the thorny devil, common basilisk, and the red uakari. These are not your typical pets. Do any of them look familiar to you?
I think I'll get the narwhal.
All right, then I wish you best of luck.
Thanks. Streak tenrec. Oh no, I want to say vampire deer where I said the last one. This is the narwhal. This is the red uakari. This is the thorny devil. Ooh, I think that this is the thorny devil and the last one is the okapi. This is a saiga antelope. This is a streaked tenrec. This is the Glaucus atlanticus. This is the common basilisk. Stop the time.
All right, so in this first round we are looking for 5 correct answers. You sound confident in the narwhal one, but we need 4 more.
Yeah, but I think that I might have 5 correct actually. And otherwise, we need to gamble. We need to gamble.
So you want to have the 100% speeder into the clock otherwise.
Yeah. Indeed.
All right, so that means you won't use any of the lifelines you have?
Nope.
All right, then we can go straight to checking. First up, we have, indeed it was a good correction, we have the vampire deer. So that one is correct. Then the next one, this is of course the narwhal. Then you can see it by the color. This was indeed the red uakari, so you're off to a good start. Then for this one, you said okapi, but this is the streaked tenrec. So your first mistake. Then this is indeed the thorny devil. So also a good correction there. So we're looking for one more correct answer. And here you said saiga antelope. And that is also correct. So congratulations, you made it to round 2. See if you have any spare good answers. This is the okapi. So you switch those around. And then we have the common basilisk. And lastly, the glaucus atlanticus. So we have exactly 5 correct. Which is what we are looking for. So
trivial.
Good of you that you don't use any lifelines. And let's see how you will do in the second round. Oh, what is a group of lemurs called? Well, if you read and remember the Weekly Mail of the 16th of December 2024, then you know that it's called a conspiracy. Here are 9 more collective nouns for animals. So I will tell you an animal. You have to tell me what is it called if you have a group of them. So the group's names you can choose from are a gaggle, a school, parliament, a murder, swarm, pack, colony, caravan, and flock. So it's another biology round. Do you think that suits you?
No.
But we're going to do it anyways.
We will manage.
All right, let's start the round. First one, crows.
Parliament.
Ants.
Colony.
Fish.
School.
Camels.
Caravan.
Wolves.
What's the English name for it? Pack.
Owls.
Murder.
Birds.
Swarm.
Bees.
Bees is swarm, birds is flock.
And geese.
That's a gaggle. Stop the time.
All right, so once again, 5 correct answers. You're going to gamble again.
5 again? Okay, let me see. Caravan, colony, pack and school I'm quite certain of, so one of the remaining has to be right. Has to be.
I agree with it. All right, I like your attitude.
Yeah.
Then let's go checking. So the first one, then we have the crows. The crows, they are the blackbirds. And the crows are, of course, the murder.
Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah.
And then we have the ants, that one you're sure about, with colony, and that is correct. Then we have the fish. And fish, you said school, which is also correct. Then we have the camels, and they are in a caravan. And the wolf, you have the wolf pack from the Hangover movie, right?
Yeah.
And then we have the owls, that is parliament. So you switch those around with the crows. With the birds, you first said swarm, then you said flock. And flock is indeed the correct answer. That's also your 5th correct answer, so congrats. Then we have bees in a swarm. And lastly, we have geese in a gaggle. So,
I also forgot that I had swarm.
Right, and luckily you didn't use a lifeline. But too bad that you switched those two around, otherwise you would have gotten another lifeline. So now we can go to the third round. In this third round we are looking for 6 correct answers. So you need to be on your A game.
Ooh.
We're living in a material world. Those are the words of Madonna in her song Material Girl. You can buy so much stuff nowadays, also a lot of it is completely useless. For example, on Amazon you can buy an empty can of Heinz beans, underpants for your hands, and perfume that smells like dirt. Completely useless, though kind of funny. Here are the 9 useless human body parts. So you will get a description, then you have to tell me which body part I am describing. So, sorry, too bad. It is a third biology round for you.
I dropped that subject in high school, you know.
Well,
that was for a reason.
I don't blame you on this one as well. But the body parts we are going to discuss are the tailbone, the plica semilunaris, the appendix, wisdom teeth, male nipples, auricular muscles, pyramidalis muscles, erector pili muscles, and the palmaris longus muscle.
Ah, yes.
Ah, yes. Well, luckily you have saved your lifelines if you're going to need them. All right, then I will just start by describing them. Good luck. First one. It used to help people digest plants that were rich in cellulose, but as we started switching to a more diverse diet and targeting meat, we didn't need it anymore.
Appendix.
It runs from the wrist to the elbow. About 10% of humans do not have it.
Palmaris longus muscle.
There is no place for it because human jaws have shrunk since humans no longer
Wisdom
need...
feet.
There are muscular fibers that produce goosebumps when they contract. Our ancestors, who had a lot more body hair, used these fibers to their advantage, but we don't have use for them anymore.
Erector pili muscles.
Human embryos develop a tail between 5 and 8 weeks after conception. The tail vanishes by the time humans are born, but this organ remains.
Male nipples. And the last one I said I want plica semilunaris.
They control the visible part of the ear, but humans have lost the ability to use them.
Auricular muscles.
This organ is located in the lower abdomen and is shaped like a triangle. People have from 0 to...
Pyramidalis muscle.
This is called the third eyelid and it is a fold of tissue found on the inside corner of the eye. It resembles
Erector pili
membrane.
muscles.
Male and female fetuses initially develop the same way and testosterone triggers the formation of male sex organs later on. Before these hormones kick in, however, this organ has already begun to develop.
This would be male nipples, and when I said male nipples, I want tailbone. Stop the time. I think that I just messed up some descriptions in my head that I just didn't follow you right along.
Okay. But how many do you think you have correct? Once again, we are looking for 6.
Mm-hmm.
And every lifeline you use, you also lose 16 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And I still have 1 round after.
Yeah, you have 1 round, but every time that you get after that 4th round, you get it back if you are going for the 7th and 8th round.
Yeah. And I need 6.
You need 6, otherwise those 7 and 8 are purely hypothetical.
Just use one lifeline.
One lifeline.
Yeah.
So that means you have 4 left, and that also means 16 seconds will be subtracted.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can go to checking. So the first one, which we don't use anymore after we switch to targeting meat, that is the appendix. So I've got to good start. Then from the wrist to the elbow, that muscle there, about 10% of humans do not have it. That's the palmaris longus muscle, so you also got that one right.
Oh.
Then no place for it because human jaws have shrunk, since humans no longer need very powerful jaws because our diets have shifted towards soft foods and cooked grains. Those are wisdom teeth. Then the muscle fibers that produce goosebumps when they contract. Here you first said erector pili muscles and then you said plica semilunaris, but the first one was actually the correct one already. But now we use your lifeline, so this will count as correct. Then the human embryos develop a tail between 5 and 8 weeks after conception, but it vanishes afterwards. That is the tailbone.
Yeah, I didn't hear you say tail.
That's a good hint in there. Then the muscles that control the visible part of the ear, those are the auricular muscles. So there's your 6 already. Yeah. Congrats. Then this organ is located in the lower abdomen and is shaped like a triangle. It's a bit in the name there already. Mm-hmm. People have from 0 to 2 of these muscles, but they don't help us. There's the pyramidalis muscle. Then the third eyelid, that is the plica semilunaris. So you switch those 2 around. Yeah. And then lastly, male and female fetuses initially develop the same way, and the male sex organs only later are triggered. But then they already have male nipples as well. So no use for your lifelines here, but it's good to stay on the safe side of things. And it means we also get to do a 4th round.
Yes.
Many teenage girls have dreamed of a mysterious boyfriend with fangs, but so far there's no evidence of one existing. Sorry, Twilight fans. Fortunately, nature has plenty of real animals with impressive fangs, some of which even make good pets. In this picture round, you'll need to identify 9 creatures with fangs. Good luck. So, yes, this first episode for you is 4th time biology.
I'm getting scammed.
Well, scammed. So far you're doing fine. You didn't need to use any lifeline. That was on you. Mm-hmm. So then the animals you can choose from are the jaguar, the baboon, water deer, jumping spider, pygmy hippopotamus, hyena, vampire bat, grey wolf, and the bush viper. So once again, you will see them. I will remain quiet, and you have to tell me what animal is this.
Yes.
All right. Good luck.
Thanks. Water deer, vampire bat, spider, hippo, baboon, Viper, Hyena, I think this is a baboon and the last one is jaguar. And the grey wolf, stop the time.
Alright, so if you want to go to the next episode, then we need 6 correct answers. You have enough time to use 3 lifelines. But that means you will take only 1 second with you and only 1 lifeline to the next round.
So that's,
then
those
you
are
get
additional seconds, right?
Yeah, those are the additional seconds you get for round 7 and 8. And you start again with 300 seconds. But you do not get any additional lifelines.
Just do 1 lifeline.
1 lifeline.
Yeah.
So that will be subtracted in 16 seconds. And then we will see if you are surviving this one. So first up, here you said water deer, which is the correct answer. Then we have the small mouth of the vampire bat. And then we have the cute fangs of the jumping spider. These are a bit larger. This is namely the hippo. Then here you had grey wolf. First you said baboon and it was the baboon.
Oh, I missed, oh shit.
But we are using your lifeline here. And then we are moving on to the bush viper. So congrats, you made it to the episode 2. Next up, this is the hyena. And then here we have not the jaguar, but the grey wolf. And lastly, that is the jaguar. So you switch those 3 around, but no worries there. You made it to the next one, so congrats. That means we will see you next week. And then we will be back with our next participant. And now I am joined by our second candidate of this season, which is also a returning candidate. Welcome, Sam.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. Exciting.
So last year you participated in the category media. And now this year you think, oh, I should just give sports a try.
Well, my general knowledge is like really, really low. So everything was fine, but I hope I have a better chance in sports than media. So we'll see how that's going to go.
So what kind of sports are you most interested in?
Volleyball, because I do it myself.
Volleyball, nice. And are you a huge fan of a club as well? Are you following the national scene?
Yeah, I saw the finals yesterday. So that was nice.
Sick.
Yeah.
So are you following any other sports or is it purely volleyball and you hope for 8 volleyball rounds?
Also, my boyfriend is into soccer, so that also helps. Also, we go to FC Twente, so that I know, and a bit of the Olympics, but not that much. But I know a bit of everything, so if it will be specific questions, then it will be sad. But general, maybe it will be fine.
All right, then I think we can just start with the first round.
Yes, let's go.
In certain sports, it is required to wear protective gear. In Taekwondo, for example, competitors wear a hogu. The hogu is a kind of body armor, which mainly is there to protect the chest from hits, as it is the most common area to try and hit the scored points. In the following sports, equipment is also required. Here you see 9 sticks, bats and rackets. You will get a picture of them and you have to tell me in what sport do you use them. So the 9 sports you can choose from are lacrosse, badminton, baseball, cricket, squash, table tennis, hockey, tennis and golf. So volleyball and football are not on the list. Do you think you'll still manage?
Yes, I think I know most of them, so I think it will be fine.
Right, then I will just keep quiet this round and I wish you best of luck.
Thank you. Baseball, golf, Squash. Badminton. Lacrosse. Table tennis. Cricket. Tennis. And hockey. Stop the time.
So, first round, 5 correct answers are needed. You got 5 of them.
5 will be fine, I think.
Sounded very confident giving your answers.
Nice.
Right, then I don't think there's any reason to discuss using lifelines and we can just go to
No.
So, first up, we have the baseball bat. Then we have a golf club. Then here was a little bit of doubt, but you said squash, which was correct. Which is followed by badminton. And then as 5th answer, we have lacrosse. So congrats, that's your 5th correct answer.
Nice.
So let's see if you get that extra lifeline. Then you have table tennis. As the 7th question, we have cricket. Next up, we have tennis. And lastly, we have hockey. So a very good start to your episode.
Nice.
And also, you deserved another lifeline, which you can use.
Nice.
And we can go on to the second round. Artistic gymnastics is a sport that looks very different for men and women. Men know, in fact, 6 different events, while women know only 4. Of these, only 2 are named the same between men and women, and one of these 2 still looks quite different when exercised by men or by women. This is to say, in this round, 9 gymnastics events. So, I will give a description of the event, and you have to tell me what event I am describing.
Okay.
And the events you can choose from are the floor exercise, the uneven bars, the pommel horse, steel rings, all around, horizontal bar, the fold, the parallel bars, and the balance beam.
Okay.
So do you ever watch gymnastics as well? Or?
Yeah, a bit. So I do know a few of them, but not all. So
You only need to know 5.
okay.
And in fact, you have 6 lifelines.
Yeah.
So if you know none of them, you're still fine.
We'll see.
All right, good luck. First one. Performed by both male and female gymnasts on an apparatus in origin similar to the pommel horse, but with no handles. The gymnast runs down a runway and hurdles onto a springboard and spring onto the apparatus with their hands.
Parallel bars.
Event for men on an apparatus consisting of 2 rings that hang freely from a rigid metal frame. It involves swing, strength and hold elements and requires extreme upper body strength.
Steel rings.
Event for men on an apparatus consisting of a metal body covered with foam, rubber and leather, with plastic handles. It involves both single leg and double leg workouts. Single leg skills are generally in the form of scissors. In double leg workouts, the gymnast swings both legs in a circular motion and prefers such skills on all parts of the apparatus.
I think those are the parallel bars, and where I said that, go for fold.
Event for women involving a long rectangular and thin apparatus covered with leather-like material. A routine must consist of a connection of 2 dance elements, a full turn on 1 foot, 1 series of 2 acrobatic skills, 1 being a salto, acrobatic elements...
Floor exercise.
Event for men involving a floor apparatus consisting of 2 parallel wooden bars. A routine must include various elements that depend on the gymnast's competitive level.
Uneven bars.
Event for both men and women specific to the Summer Olympics. Involves participating in all other events and considered an overall score.
All around.
Event in both women's and men's artistic gymnastics performed in an area of 12 meters squared, covered in cloth or mat. No other apparatus is used. For women, the performance is accompanied by music and involves some dancing.
That is the floor exercise, and where I said that to balance beam.
Event for women on an apparatus consisting of asymmetric bars made of fiberglass with wood coating. Routines usually involve a lot of strength, jumping and swings. They are generally composed of a set of skills, each worth a particular value.
Horizontal bar.
Event for men involving an apparatus consisting of a cylindrical metal bar that is rigidly held above and parallel to the floor by a system of cables and stiff vertical supports. Routines are dynamic presentations demonstrating the full potential of the apparatus. They consist of the fluid connection of swinging, turning and flight elements performed without pauses, near to and far from the bar in a variety of hand grips.
Say fold, and where I said that pommel horse, stop the time. Wow.
So a bit less sure than the previous round.
Yes, this was a tough one.
But we are only looking for 5 correct answers.
Yeah, let's use 2 lifelines. I'm not sure.
Right, 2 lifelines. It also means 32 seconds will be subtracted. So then we will risk the third and the fourth round a bit.
Yeah.
But that we'll manage.
Let's hope so.
All right, so 2 lifelines used, and then we can go to checking. So the first one done by both male and female gymnasts on a apparatus similar to a pommel horse, and they run down a runway and they hurdle onto a springboard that's fold. Then the event for men with the upper body strength involving swinging, that's the still rings, so they have a correct answer. Then the event for men on an apparatus consisting of a metal body covered with foam, rubber and leather, where they swing their legs around holding 2 handles, that's the pommel horse.
Yes.
Then the event for women involving a long rectangular and very thin apparatus covered with leather-like material and where they are doing dance elements and acrobatic skills on, that's the balance beam. Then the event for men involving a floor apparatus, and there they have a routine must include various elements that depend on the gymnast competitive level they have on the parallel bars. Then done by both men and women, and it involves participating in all other events and considers an overall score. That's the all-around. So congrats, there's your 5th correct answer.
Thank you.
And then we have the what both men and women do, but it's very different because the women do it on music and involves some dancing. That's the floor exercise. Then for only women with the asymmetric bars, that's the uneven bars. And lastly, with only 1 bar, with a cylindrical bar, that's the horizontal bar. So you only needed 1 lifeline there, but good use of them.
Yeah.
So now we can move on to round number 3. During the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris, Formula 1 driver Oscar Piastri was thought to be participating as a gymnast for the Dutch Olympic team, which, of course, caused lots of interesting and funny chaos online. However, it turned out instead that Frank Rijke, the actual Dutch athlete competing in Olympics, simply looked very similar to him. Frank Rijke, to this day, is regularly mistaken for Oscar Piastri. In this round, 9 Formula 1 drivers. So you will see them, and you have to tell me what is their name.
Okay.
So do you follow any F1?
Yes, I do actually. So I hope this will be a good one.
All right. And the drivers you can choose from are Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Alexander Albon, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hülkenberg, and Max Verstappen.
Okay.
And now we're also looking for 6 correct answers, as we are in round 3.
Yes.
I will just keep my mouth shut, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you. Max Verstappen. Yuki Tsunoda. Esteban Ocon. Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris. Nico Hülkenberg. Leclerc. Fernando Alonso. Oh, that's Yuki Tsunoda, so then switch them with Albon. Stop the time.
So are there 6 correct?
Yes, I think so.
All right, then without further ado, we can go to checking.
Yes.
So first up, the current world champion. I do not know if he can keep his title this year.
Yeah, it will be tricky.
Yeah, for sure. But it's Max Verstappen. And then the second one, this one you switched around and you switched it to Alexander Albon, which is the correct answer. So nice, well done. Third one, we have Ocon. Then we have Lewis Hamilton. And then fifth one, we have Lando Norris. And to see if you go to the next round, here is Nico Hülkenberg is also correct. So congrats.
Nice.
So see if you can earn a lifeline back. Then we have Charles Leclerc. And Fernando Alonso, which means you also got the last one correct. It's Yuki Tsunoda.
Nice.
Perfect round. Nice.
Okay.
So not a lifeline gotten, but you only have 56 seconds left. So for the last round, if you hurry, then you might be able to use 1 or 2 of them. So let's move on to that one. The Iceland national football team nicknamed Strakanir, Okkar, which means our boys in Icelandic, made its first and only appearance in a World Cup in 2018. It stood then proudly in its deep blue and grey, both icy colours that made the country immediately recognisable to the audience. Lots of European countries, however, are bound to the colours they wear on the field, some even partially deriving nicknames from said colours. Here are then 9 European football teams and the colours they wear on the field. So you will see a picture of the jersey, and they have to tell me which country plays in that jersey.
Okay.
But you said you followed football, so...
Yeah.
Right. And the countries you can choose from are Denmark, Belgium, the Netherlands, Italy, Spain, Finland, France, Sweden, and Germany. All the huge football countries in Europe are in there.
Okay.
So, good luck.
Thank you. Let's say Sweden. Finland. Belgium. Oh my god. Germany. France. Spain. No, this is Spain. So do Denmark. This is Sweden. So then one of them was Italy.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah, switch them with Italy, and then this is the Netherlands. This was not a good round.
Unfortunately, you do not have any time for lifelines as well.
No, it will
so
be
you just
fine.
have to stick with your answers.
Let's hope so.
I think there are 6 correct.
No, I don't think so, but we'll see.
Do you ever watch the Euros or World Championship?
Yeah, a bit, but I don't know. I just didn't have a clue on the colors, so.
But let's see what you made of it. So the first one, here we have in blue, and on the other jersey you can also see the flag. That's from Italy, so good start. Then the second one, this is orange. This is our own Netherlands.
Oh, it's orange.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I thought it was red, so.
Ah, okay. That explains a lot.
That's why I was confused, because I was waiting for the orange one.
But next up, this in red, that's Belgium, the Red Devils.
Yes, so that was good.
Then we have Germany.
Yeah, okay, that was also fine.
Next up is blue, but this time it's from France.
Okay.
And first you said Spain and then Denmark, and it is Denmark.
Oh, wow.
Nicely done. And next up, this was Spain, so that's your 6 correct.
Wow.
Well done. And then here, we clearly see the flag of Finland as well. So this was Finland.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then lastly, we have the yellow from Sweden. But you needed 6 correct and you got exactly 6 of them.
I was confused with Finland and Sweden.
No worries there. So now you still have 5 lifelines. And you have 2 seconds to spare, which will be added if you make it to the 7th or 8th round. So, very nicely done. That means we will see you next week together with Jorrit. Now to the viewer question of today. The answer to the viewer question was Zurich. Congratulations to the winner. And thank you all for watching, and we hope you tune in next time for a new episode of Smarter by the Second.